My name is Perri Shakes-Drayton, and I'm a former professional athlete, Olympian, host and public speaker. And I have one son. My journey into motherhood, I would say, was quite positive in a sense. I had a birthing plan. I wanted a water birth. But I went with the idea that anything can happen, and whatever's going to be the best decision for me and my child is what I'm going to have to go with. So, at the time when I was giving birth, unfortunately I wasn't dilating quick enough, so the water birth kind of went out of the window, and I was in a birthing centre, and then it was the case of, we've got to get you to hospital. Got rushed to hospital because that's where they could help me more. Everything to me was new. I mean, first time mum, you don't know what to expect. You just put your hands in the professionals, and after just kind of being calm and trusting the professionals, I did eventually get what I wanted and was able to give birth to my son, and he came out healthy. It was really quite positive, I would say. I never had no medication. I refused to have any epidural. I said, you know what, this thing's painful, but I want to feel everything. I think that's the athlete in me, definitely. Mental health can have an effect on anybody. And I feel like the change from me being an athlete going into motherhood, I was a selfish person. All I had to do is worry about myself. Now I've got the responsibility of a child, and kind of like my selfishness was put aside, and it was all about my son. You don't get a manual when you become a mother. You're definitely learning on the job. I feel like having friends having children around the same time was a big help, because I didn't know a lot. Even when I was pregnant, I learned about the risk of being a black woman and being pregnant. That, you know, we are 1 in 5 times more at risk of dying during and after. And when you hear that kind of information, you're a bit kind of turned off, but it's too late. I'm carrying this child, and I'm going to go through this process. But it was a scary situation. I had to have a conversation with my husband to discuss if anything was to happen to me, you know, blah-de-blah-de-blah, this is going to be the plan. You have very mixed emotions. I remember after giving birth to my son, I was very emotional, very teary-eyed. I was watching The Lion King, that's my favourite Disney movie, and I was just crying. Don't ask me why I was crying, but you think very different. I was fortunate enough, I'm supported by my family. I have that community behind me, so if I ever need help, I do actually have that. So I never at times felt alone, because even at times when I was awake at 3 a.m, I'd have friends as well who were breastfeeding their children at the same time. We'd be like on the phone to each other. It was like, "You alright?" Yeah. So it was, like I say, it was a very positive experience for me. Support for me looks like having that community. Some people may call it a village behind you. That's my family, my mum, my dad, my husband, someone I can call if I need someone to take care of Matthew. They're there. Or I need time for myself, I can call them, they're there. You need that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I am that mum, or that kind of mum who's kind of thing is, I don't trust people easily. So it's like I had to really trust people to look after my son at times, because there's times I've got to go to work. You know, I'm fortunate enough, my work is very, very much, you know, it's not all the time, but when I need to get out, or maybe to travel, there's someone that I can trust who can keep their eye on my son and know that he'll be in good hands. So having that support of family around you, I know I'm definitely fortunate in that sense, because not many people do have that. For someone who may not have the support of village that I fortunately have, I would say get out. I would say like go and mix with other mums. Obviously we have this great community. You have Chrissy, the Motivational Mums Club, which I think is great, because when you get out, sometimes you feel safe in your home, but when you go out and mingle amongst other women, and then you hear other people's stories, it's like you don't feel alone, and it's like, oh, wow, I can breathe, you know, it's a norm. and just speaking. I really feel like speaking does a lot, whether you want to voice it out on social media, or if it's a case of you join a group where you can just like, okay, this is what's going on, or just catching up with people. I really think it's important to have that. Not saying you need a large group. You don't need a large group. Even if it's 1 or 2 people that you know, they can really just like be yourself around. I think it's great. I think it's important to ask a mother, how are you? Because when people ask you that question, you usually get a response of, I'm good, everything's okay. But I know truly everyone's going through something, no matter how big or small. Life has other stressful things going on. You know, being a mother, taking care of a child, that is stressful and a lot. It's very demanding. But I always feel like when someone asks me that, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. It's nice to be, I feel like that's how I'm seen. You asking me how I'm doing, and they ask how my child's doing. Yeah, always ask the mother, how is she doing? If she wants to go into more, then she'll give you more. But if not, I think it's always just put it out there and just say like, how are you? Every day is a day to ask a mother, how are you?